Hello, lads, ladies, gents, lads, whoever, whatever. Welcome back to another video. As always, something a little bit different today. I wanted to do a bit of a where's the channel at, where are we going, what's happening, all that sort of stuff kind of video. But I also wanted to kind of have a bit of a discussion about what it's like being a smaller creator and what my goals are and, things I think I could do to help myself and that, and things I want to be held accountable for, and a million different little things, but I'll try to be as concise as I can. This is going to be completely off the cuff, so it's going to be all over the place. I do apologize. There's going to be lots of ums and ahs and things like that. There might be some random jump cuts where I've just like stopped or I've had to cough or anything like that, so I do apologize. But anyway, what's been going on with videos? Not a lot. Best way to put it is I've been suffering from some pretty bad depression of late. I've had some IRL things kind of happen, not in a bad way necessarily. They are not pleasant, but things haven't gone according to plan, and it's sort of put a bit of a damper on the mood, and things have just kind of spiraled from there, and I'm trying to get myself out of it. That's why I'm making this. So anyone who knows me knows I work at a supermarket chain. I am a cleaner, I push trolleys, I clean the bakeries, I do all that sort of stuff. I actually really enjoy the job. I know some people are like, oh, there's not a lot of glory in that. It's like, I don't care if there's glory in it. It's an active job. And when you look back and you see how shit a bakery looks after they've done the day's baking, and you've got all the bloody flour everywhere and crumbs and bits and bobs, and you clean it up and it comes out looking brand new, it's a really good feeling. It's honestly one of those things where it's like I might not really get the appreciation I feel from the job from other people at my job, but it's one of those things where I feel a lot of self-pride in my ability at the job. And I've been working that job for a few years now, basically since COVID started. And because I've got a bad back, which surprisingly most of you might not have heard me bitch about, which is, and I say surprising because it's all I do. I just complain about it because I'm an old man. I've got 2 herniated discs down the bottom of my back that never healed because we didn't realize that was the issue for the longest time, because I did it when I was 18 turning 19. And it's been over a decade, and we never did anything to fix it, and it got worse and worse, and it's just permanently buggered at this point. And I am currently trying yet again for the millionth time to lose weight, and I've only just started trying again. But hopefully, I can lose some weight, and that'll get rid of some of the pain, and then my mood will increase dramatically. Because I'm not a skinny boy, as you can tell. It's not exactly the face of a model. I don't look as heavy as I am, because I am also a big boy. I'm quite tall. I stand at about, I think it's 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in that range, 190 to 191 centimeters. But I do weigh about 145 to 150 kilos in that range, typically. Sort of depends on if I've been eating shit that week or whatever. So I'm a big guy, and I'm trying to lose that weight and feel better about myself and my self-image. Even getting on camera right now is it's a battle, if I'm being real. And I know some people will sit there and go, "That's stupid. You shouldn't worry about that. Looks don't matter, all that." And there are people who are out there who just want to bully and all that. Go for it. There's nothing you can say to me that I haven't said to myself. I have said the most heinous, horrific things to myself, and I say it every day I wake up. And you can try, but it ain't gonna work, because I ain't dead yet. But basically, my point really is I have been depressed. I have had work go from steady hours to literally nothing. Not technically work's fault, and that'll sound weird, but it is law here in Australia that if you are casual for more than a year, you have to be offered part-time work. And unfortunately, during COVID, we brought in a lot of casuals, and they happened to stick around for a year, and they all took the part-time work, and then all the casual hours were gone. So although work hasn't fired me, I am still on the books and everything, and I appreciate them for that. It is a situation where I've had no work for the better part of 2 months, other than 1 week where I had a couple of shifts, and they said they were going to give me part-time. They offered it to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it, 3 days a week. It's not a ton of money, but look, it's consistent work, and that's all I want. And unfortunately, that fell through because I think they didn't want to risk my back, because it was a different store manager to the usual one that I let my usual boss, because I'd be transferring to another store, which is under different management. And yeah, bit of a bummer. That didn't work. So not their fault. Just, I understand where they're coming from. Business, all that. You got to protect workers, protect yourselves, be safe out there, all that shit. But yeah, that put a real sour mood on the plate, and I just kept eating from it, and I just kept feeding myself that shitty mood, that shitty mindset. And even now, I'm still doing it. I know I am, but I'm trying to get out of it. Like today, I finally cleaned this room. Mostly, I still have a chunk to do, but one of the first things you start doing when you're depressed is you stop caring. You stop cleaning. You stop, picking up after yourself. You just let things get messy. And don't get me wrong, it's not like my house is looking like a hoarder's place or anything like that. But this room was looking pretty fucking bad. And I'm not even going to show some of it because I don't want to, because I'm embarrassed by it. But this is all for me to keep myself accountable. And yeah, anyway, so essentially videos have been stuck in a place of I can't get myself to do them because mentally I've been too hard on myself. And even when I look at videos that I've done, like say my Simpsons video, which has done really well for my channel, and I'm very happy with the numbers, and thank you so much to everyone who subscribed and all that sort of stuff. But it's one of those things where I look at it and I can't tell myself I'm proud of the video. And I don't like that I'm talking to myself that way. I should be proud of the fact that, one, I made a video, because millions of people out there sit there and say, oh, I can make better videos than such and such. And go do it, man. Go do it. Get out there. Be creative. Use it as an outlet. I don't want this to be a job. I want it to be a hobby. It will always be a hobby for me, unless, I magically blow up. I don't see that happening. But as a small creator, and I mean a small creator, what am I at? 459 subscribers at the time of recording this, and that'll probably drop and go up and drop again. I am just an atom in the ocean. I am insignificant in the space of YouTube as a creator. I do not demand a big enough audience to matter. But the friends that I have made, they matter to me. And I think it's only fair to them and fair to me to push myself to be the best version of myself, if that makes sense. And I think everyone should strive to be the best versions of themselves. I know I've got some friends, I'm not going to name names, but a good friend of mine, he's been really struggling of late. And I want to be there for him and try and support him. But, there's only so much you can do when he's overseas and I live here. And to any of my friends, if that applies to you and there's multiples of you, well, guess what? It does apply. So I do care. I want everyone to be happy, healthy, and all that. So what's the plans? What's the deal? What's going to happen going forward? Well, Kingdom Hearts Challenge is still on the cards, as silly as it is. I haven't touched it for a year. I started recording it again a little bit. I've only done half an hour extra. I am going to start streaming it to YouTube, just because I think that'll be more efficient than having to do everything else, and then I can just edit it down and do stuff from there. And yeah, I think that's kind of the plan with that. Maybe like once a week or something like that, or once every few days. For those who have never done it or ever attempted it, please understand it is the most mind-numbing thing in the world. So yeah, just just understand that it's not something that I do want to do it, but it's not something that I'm like, man, I really want to sit there and click this button for fucking 5 hours a day. I'm a patient man, I am, but I am also not that patient. This is sadly the third time I've actually attempted it. The first time was on my PS3. I got to level 32, 33, I think it was, and my capture card died. And the unfortunate thing is, it was the old Elgato that could only capture. The old Elgato you could use to capture PS3, but you couldn't use it for. You can't use the newer ones for PS3, not without getting specific HDMI splitters and all that sort of crap. And I could never find one that worked. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame that happened. Then I was doing it on my PS4, and I got all the way to level 62. I think it was 61 or 62 there. It was 110 hours in. And unfortunately, I had to sell my PS4. I had to pay rent. And, you got to do what you got to do. And I forgot to upload that save file to the cloud. And I regret that, because the person whom I sold my PS4 to would have gladly uploaded it for me, and I know they would have, but I fucked up. And then I started again when I bought it on PC, and yeah, we're like level 25 or something. We're not very far in, we're like 4 hours in. But that is something that is actually going to come back, I do promise, because I do want to really finish something stupid, if that makes sense. Like, I want to get it done. What else is there? There's the Digimon videos. I haven't given up on those. They are just on the back burner just because they take so long to make. So Digimon World 1 wasn't too bad. That took somewhere in the realm of 20 to 30 hours to make that video. And if you're doing that over a 2-week period, that's tons and tons of time. Like, it's not stupid hard work or anything like that, or like I'm crunching to get it done. 2, however, that took a while because I needed to finish 2 because I'd never beat it. And that took forever. That was somewhere in the realm of 80 hours to finish the game. And the research for the game, and then like 30 something hours of editing. It was a lot of work. I'm very happy with the video, for what it was, but it was it was a lot. I actually got to the point where, just as a little, if you want to know some behind the scenes, if I'm playing these games, especially stuff that I can emulate, I will activate cheats if I just need to fly through a certain section of the game to get footage, because I cannot be asked putting that kind of time in if there is no major guaranteed benefit. And I don't mean that as in a, I don't appreciate the views that I do get, because I am eternally grateful for everyone who has subscribed, everyone who has watched, everyone who comments, everyone who just, even thinks about clicking on one of my videos. I can't thank you enough for even looking my way, given the amount of content that is out there. But at the same time, I'm not putting in 100 hours work for one view. I don't want that to be the case, because when I did my Digimon World 3 video, unfortunately, it soured my mood a little bit, because it only got like 13 views in the first week, and I was upset, because I was like, I felt like that was a good video. I put a lot of good work into it. Don't get me wrong, there was some mistakes, things I could have done better. Time management could have been better and things like that in the production of that video, but my style of video is a very production heavy style. It is not something like this video is going to be super piss easy, because it's just me sitting here talking to my camera and rambling about it. This is going to be 15 minutes of work. Basically go through, cut out any stupidly long dead silences or any part where indigestion as an old man gets the better of me, which it's trying to. I can feel it. But at the same time, then there are videos like, the Simpsons video, for example. Again, extremely happy with the numbers that pulled in. I can't thank everyone enough for watching that video, commenting, liking, and all that stuff, especially because for my channel, when you're talking averages of maybe 8 to 30 views, kind of in that range, I like if I get like 20 views, I'm happy on a video. I'm extremely happy if I get 20 views. 10, I'm like, I wish I would get a little bit more. 15 to 20, yeah, 20 plus, I'm really happy. But to have a video do over 500 as just a video that I've put work into, and I don't think it's my best work. I actually think it's far from. But I think it's something that I can look at and go, man, I'm really happy that there is a chance I can make something that will go really far. You know, and I know I experiment with content a lot on this channel. Not that I upload very regularly, but like if you look at the history of this channel now, I've nuked hundreds and hundreds of videos off this channel. But I've had Let's Play stuff, which I do want to do, kinda. Not sure about how I want to go about it, but we'll see, because I'm not a super talkative person when I play games. I tend to like watch stuff and listen to music while I play games, but I might do like games that I'm particularly good at, or reasonably okay at, or the games that I learned to speedrun and that. I love putting those kind of videos out because I love to just sit there sometimes once in a blue moon and just do a speed run. And I'm not going to be a competitive speedrunner. I'm not going to have good times or anything like that. I am just a casual, you know, and I like doing it for fun. And I think it's a great hobby that everyone should pick up with some of your favorite games, especially games that maybe take a bit too long to get through. Like, you know, I know a lot of people like Kingdom Hearts, but yeah, sometimes I don't want to spend 15 to 20 plus hours in that game. So being able to beat it in 3.5 is nice, you know, and that's nowhere near a competitive time, but it's nice to be able to just sit there and go, let me just smash this game out today and be done with it. And, you know, obviously when you beat your times, you feel good and all that sort of stuff because you're only really competing with yourself. But back onto actual focus. You know, I've experimented with doing news, let's plays, these reviews. I've done music. I've done the interviews. The interviews are something I definitely want to continue to do again in future, but they are a little bit of work in terms of time zones, which makes it hard. Obviously, with me not having a lot of work at the moment, it'd be easier for me to do, but there's also just, you know, I don't want to be too invasive in people's lives and things like that. And there are people out there who I know wouldn't mind doing it, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, they've got enough on their plate, and I feel awkward asking and demanding. And there's people that I organized to interview, but unfortunately, things just fell through on my end, not their end by any means. It was all me, and I still want to kind of go back to doing those. But we'll see how we go. I sort of need to get other videos kind of backlogged first. But they were a lot of fun to do because it's just hang out for a couple of hours, talk shit with friends, you know, which I really enjoy doing. And I wouldn't mind talking about it a bit more, but I think a big issue is politics will come into it. And I don't mind talking politics, but like a lot of people, I'm very strongly opinionated, and I will probably, how would I put it? Probably not convey what I really mean properly. I don't think I'm a great speaker when it comes to a political thought in describing something, because I'm very much a blue collar guy, an everyday guy. I swear too much. And I will probably say that's fucking stupid and not elaborate why. Or, yeah, no, that should be how it is. And again, not explain why. And I couldn't really tell you other than to me it makes sense, you know. And at the end of the day, I don't want to really talk politics. I think there's enough division in the world. I think everyone has a right to believe what they want to believe as long as it doesn't actually cause harm to another person. And that's all it should be. But yeah, anyway, for someone who doesn't want to talk politics, I'm rambling a lot about it. But yeah, like, at the end of the day, there's stuff I want to do. The reviews are still on. As I said, Digimon's something that's going to be on the back burner for a while, just because those games take so long to do. Digimon World 4 has made me hit a bit of a brick wall, mainly because the game's got a very slow start, and it's going to require me to put a lot of time into a game that I don't particularly love. And it's not to say that it's a bad game, but if you look at like the first 3 Digimon World reviews that I did, I particularly love Digimon World 3. Why? Because it's a traditional RPG. It's turn-based. It makes the most sense. I don't mind 2. I like 1. It's a lot of fun. I actually played a lot of Next Order on PS5, just to flex. That one time I had money and I was able to buy myself something nice. But I bought Next Order on PS5 because I had a PC release, and the PC release was too expensive. But on PlayStation, it was like $15. I was like, hell yeah. And that game is a lot of fun, but it is very slow. Like very, very slow, but it's a good return to the roots and all that good stuff. But yeah, they're on the back burner. There's a Mega Man video I've been working on for like a good month and a half now that I cannot convince myself to edit, which is frustrating because I know how I want to edit like 80% of the video, but the first 6 minutes, I just can't think of what to put, if that makes sense. And I might end up just forcing myself to make something that I'm not happy with just to get it done, if that makes sense. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is inherently bad, but it just means I'm personally gonna sit there and go, it's not a good video. Like, I think my Sims 2 challenge video isn't particularly good, right? But that one is my most viewed video, and people seem to be okay with it and kind of like it. And I'm like, I think it's absolute trash. But it was also the first time I tried doing a lot of like really cut down content, like more focused on the main parts, like I have with the reviews, where it's sort of like jumping from point to point to point and being very concise compared to what this is, where it's just rambling and talking shit out my ass and having a great time doing it, apparently. But yeah, so that's something that that's going to eventually happen. Is more review videos. We're going to eventually get the Digimon review videos. That Mega Man video will come out. The Why I Love series is still on the cards. I thought of transitioning them into just being reviews, but I really still want to do the Why I Love StarCraft, and I've recorded tons of footage. I've got tons of stuff for the games researched and everything. I haven't got a script done, but I have a lot kind of there, and I want to do it, but the concern I have with that video is length to informativeness. And what I mean by that is I don't want it to be one of those videos where it's, well, we go from like, you know, oh, in StarCraft 2, this is why I love it, and I talk about blah, 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 here's the points I love, and then I talk about each individual mission as to what you do. And I don't want to do that because I feel like all I'm doing is playing the game for you at that point without telling you why I love that mission. I'm just telling you the story. And like, that's my concern, because every time I try to do it, I keep doing that, and I'm not happy with myself for doing that. But in saying that, I am aware of what I want to do for it. So the idea is to do, it would be 4 parts. There would be Wings of Liberty, there would be Heart of the Swarm, Legacy of the Void, and then the esports scene as a whole, and talking about my experiences with it, why I love it, what got me to love it, those involved in it that got me to love it, and all that good stuff. But that is something that's still a while away, I think, in terms of I want to get my production level to a certain point. Because I was very happy with my Final Fantasy VIII video. It's not perfect, but I was very happy with it. I love my Doom video. It's stupid. But I still go back and watch it, and I think it is one of my most watchable videos. Not just because I don't talk a lot in it, but I don't know, I just find it very enjoyable. It's one of those videos where I look at it and go, I'm very proud of this, even if no one, I don't care if no one watches it, I'm happy with it, sort of thing. There's a lot of work that went into it, and, you know, it's one of those videos, like, if you ask me what video have I made that I'm most proud of, that's definitely up there. I was very happy with my Resident Evil 6 review. But, you know, Everyone's got like their favorite videos and things they like and all that sort of stuff. You know, some people like the speed runs, some people like the reviews, some people like this, some people like that. Everyone's got their different things. And the speed runs to me are like the worst content that I make, because I'm not good. Like, I'm not a competitive speedrunner. I am a casual, and as I said, I just do it for fun. But yeah, so what's plans? Are we going to have release schedules? We're going to have any of that? Answer is no, there will not be release schedules going forward at the moment because I am trying to get myself in the right frame of mind. It's taking me nearly 2 months to make this video. I've been wanting to make it and I just couldn't convince myself to do it. But I'm forcing myself because I had some painkillers for my back. I'm in a good mood, cleaned this room a bit. I've been on the exercise bike today, which I'm happy about. And I'm forgetting things that I've said because the painkillers will do that to me. So I'm sorry if I do speak in circles a lot, which I know I will have. But, for those watching, those who have watched, those who will watch in future, I can't thank you enough. I smashed every goal that I set this year, and I only set realistic goals. I don't like setting outlandish ones. Like, yes, it'd be nice to get to 1,000 subscribers, get monetized, and be able to make money off this. I'd love to be able to have like content creation, streaming, and all that be a job, something that I just love doing. But in saying that, realistically, is it feasible? No, it's just not. And unfortunately, you're going to live in the real world, and I don't get that luxury. At the moment, with work not giving me work, I'm applying for work from home jobs so I can have something that, I could get more hours doing, because it won't be, a physical barrier, I guess is how I'd kind of put it, because I'm limited to how many hours I can be on my feet on a given day because of just the amount of pain that I get into. And I know for some people, if you've never had sciatica pain or anything like that, it'd be hard to describe it. But it's basically like someone's come up and kneed you in the back just above the hip, and that pain is just there all the time. And it's not 24/7 that it's extreme like that, don't get me wrong. But after a day's work, I'm wiped for the day. I can't do anything after I've worked. And typically, if I've done a very busy day, like my last shift that I did, which was a month and a half ago, but I had to clean underneath all the aisles in the morning. I did something like 300 and something squats, like getting down and seeing underneath them. I literally could not stand on my own 2 feet for 2 days afterwards. I was in a lot of pain, and that's when I noticed that I was really starting to spiral with my mental health and all that, which is part of the reason why I wanted to do this. But yeah, I want to kind of have a bit of a trigger warning here, for anyone who, has gone through extreme depression and all those thoughts and all that sort of stuff. Please, if you feel comfortable sharing your story, feel free to. But I mainly want to share this because, I think it's better to get it off my chest, and I think I owe it to myself to take my own advice and be more open. And it's one of those things where I think if I can get it out there, I will feel a lot better about myself. And this isn't something that necessarily, you need to know. And if you don't want to hear it, feel free to skip, feel free to stop watching. I will not hate you. And there's a reason why I'm leaving it towards the end. But again, trigger warning. But basically, for the last 2 months, every day I've woken up, I have contemplated suicide. Every single fucking day. And it is not anyone's fault. I don't want anyone to think, oh, maybe I said something that upset him, or maybe I wasn't there enough for him, or anything like that. It is not anyone's fault. It is not from a lack of love in my life or a lack of support. It is, I am tired. I am miserable. And I am in control of what makes me tired. I'm in control of what makes me miserable. So I need to take more responsibility for that. And I know there are people out there who feel hopeless in life and their situations, and I definitely do to some extent. For me, I feel very much stuck in the trap of poverty. And it's very rich for me to say because, I'm sitting here talking in to a mic, like a good microphone with a good webcam and, expensive computer monitors and a, expensive computer that's next to me. And, I have nice things in life. It's like, yes, but I had those when I had money. And now I don't have money coming in. It's really starting to bite me in the ass a lot. And, I should have been smarter with my money. Let's be real. I think we all could have. But, what's the point of money if you can't enjoy it at the same time, the duality of life. But at the end of the day, even if I had money saved, I would just be chewing through it. I know I would. But it is a thing of, I'm stuck on Centrelink payments. For those who don't know, that is our welfare payments in Australia. And I'm very thankful we have them. Don't get me wrong. It's better than freaking nothing, like some countries out there. And I'm very appreciative of having that. But it is around $865 a fortnight. And for those who don't know what a fortnight is, and no, not the video game, is a 2-week period. And if all I get is $865, my rent is $680 a fortnight. So I don't exactly have a ton of money left over. And that's going to pay groceries for me. That's going to pay my electricity. That's going to pay my gas, my water, my phone, and my internet. Because if I don't have phone and internet, guess what? I can't apply for jobs. So I have to have those. And I've got relatively cheap. Thankfully, I'm in a situation where my phone is not going to be much of an issue anymore because thankfully my contract ends after this month. So that's going to free up a lot of money each month. That's going to free up like $50 a fortnight, which is pretty good. So I'm thankful for that. My internet, yeah, I could probably get cheaper, but you're talking maybe $20 a month, and I'm getting much worse speeds. And so I was like, well, instead of spending money on, Netflix and things like that, I'd rather just have better internet for watching YouTube, uploading, streaming, all that sort of stuff, and downloading games and enjoying my leisure time. And I'm very lucky that my dad was in a situation where he needed to have a place to live, so he moved in with me, and that's made life a lot more affordable. But in saying that, I still pay for all my lunches, like all my lunch groceries and that. He tends to pay for the dinners, but I cover the gas, the electricity, and all that sort of stuff. And I'm eternally grateful to him being here. And I know he's willing to help, and he's in a situation where he can help. But pride, all that shit. I don't really want to sit there and go, "Hey, can I borrow $300 just to get ahead?" And stay ahead, because I'm breaking even. Like, I'm not in a situation where I'm falling behind, but I'm not in a situation where I'm getting ahead. So it's a little frustrating, just kind of being stuck in that trap. And that's what I mean by, I feel like I'm stuck in that trap of poverty, because for those who don't know, the poverty line in Australia is basically double what I get from Centrelink. And although that amount is increasing, and I personally don't think it should be at the poverty line. It should be close, but I don't think it should be at, because otherwise, why would you want to work a full-time minimum wage job, which is what they define the poverty line as? It's not very fair on them. So I think it's something where it definitely has to have a major increase, but it can't be too much at the same time to be fair to everyone else. And it's a situation, though, where someone like me who's on reduced hours, where I could only work up to 15 hours a week. And as I've got older and heavier and more depressed and more and more anxieties and things like that, it's been harder to get myself to do 15 hours. I was working 9 to 12 hours before work kind of unfortunately had to cut off my hours consistently for a good month there, and that was good. That was a good balance. I could manage that and I could still do everything else that I need to in life. But for example, if I try to do dishes 15 minutes, I'm out. I can't do it. Cleaning this room, I spent 40 minutes doing it, like taking stuff out, sweeping, and like moving stuff around, tidying up, putting things away, and I'm wiped. Like I can't do nothing else. I'm on painkillers and I don't really feel it, but I know that as soon as I try to move, that the muscles in my back are going to scream and say no, don't, and then I'm going to just be in a grouchy mood. I don't want to do that, even though I'm talking about some pretty heavy shit. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to talk about it, so I've started, doing exercise a little more regularly. Although I've been a bit slack the last couple of weeks to call myself out on it, where I bought Ring Fit. So I'm trying to do that each day. Although I haven't done it today, I haven't done it for 2 weeks, but I'm going to start doing it again tomorrow. And then I'm going to do exercise bike, and I put my exercise bike in a position where I can watch my right hand screen, and I've got a speaker that's like aimed at the exercise bike, so I can watch any show that I want or any YouTube thing or whatever. I've been watching a lot of anime of late, romance anime, and if you want to make fun of me, go for it, because I'm a sad, lonely man, and it makes me feel something, and I like seeing characters be happy in life, just like I like seeing people be happy in life. I've had enough of being negative, and I hate myself for the amount of complaining about complaining that I do. And not just for my own complaining. Like, I know sometimes it's a bit of a joke where, a good friend of mine, Pixel, love him to death, and I just want him to succeed and have all the happiness in the world. But I complain about his complaining a lot, and I hate that I do that. It's not like he has every right to complain about some of the stuff that he complains about, and I bitch about it, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And I hate that I'm being negative. I had a massive rant about it on stream actually with Diablo 4 coming out. A lot of people are saying, oh, D4's dead, worst game ever, fuck Blizzard, all that. It's like, yeah, fuck Blizzard, they can suck a dick. But D4's fun. I've enjoyed it a lot. I've put a lot of time into it. Yes, I've taken a few days off it, but, I've put like 230, 240 hours into the friggin' thing since I got it. And it's been a great time for me. And being able to play with friends, especially a series that I adore, has been one of the just most cathartic experiences I've got to experience in a long time. Because a lot of the stuff I personally enjoy is kind of niche, at least in the gaming sphere. Like, I'm not into your Call of Duties, I'm not into your Battlefields, your Fortnites, your PUBGs and stuff. Like, I'll play them on occasion, don't get me wrong, but they're not really for me. And I tend to like a lot of single player games. And then having something like Diablo where I can play with friends and talk about the lore and what I'd like to see happen and, creating cool builds and things. It's been really nice. But the issue that I'm having is people are just being so negative, not necessarily like in a always just negative way. Like, some complaints are definitely valid and I can agree to, but I'm just so over, like, I don't like this game because I don't like it. It's like, okay, but, if you're going to say the game's bad, give me the reasons. Like, I want to hear them. I'd like to have a discussion about it. Do I agree with it and do I not agree with it? Are you someone who has played the series as a whole, or are you someone who's played the series as I just played 1, or I just played 2, or I only played 3? Or I've never played them, but this game's shit because I just don't like it. In which case, fair enough. You don't know where the series is coming from, and maybe this specific style of looter ARPG just isn't for you, and that's fine. Just like there are people out there who hate Final Fantasy VIII, and I adore it. It will always be on my Mount Rushmore of games. It will always be in my top 5. Same with StarCraft. There are people out there who just don't like RTS, and I get it. I know people who kind of like the story, but they don't really care for the game itself because, it's just not their type of game. And fair enough. you know, because StarCraft to me is pinnacle sci-fi. Like, it's peak. I can't think of many things in sci-fi that are better. You know, and some people go, oh, Warhammer 40k. It's like, well, StarCraft was meant to be Warhammer 40k. Let's be fucking real. And again, very valid point. Warhammer is insane. It's cool. And I barely know jack about it. And all I know is it's dope as hell. And I actually want to play all the Warhammer games because I do own a lot of them. And I've played some of them over the years, but I've never really sat down and gone like hard at them and given them everything that I could. But anyway, I've been ranting for like nearly an hour now. So yeah. But yeah, just to summarize it, I guess. Videos are still coming. The Why I Love series is still going to happen. I need to set up streaming to third channels. A third channel. Sorry, indigestion got me there. So I can stream to YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at once. We will be continuing the Kingdom Hearts challenge. That hasn't stopped the leveling thing. I've never deleted the save file. I still have all the footage that I've recorded. It's something that it's hard to do in my own time. It is much easier to do when I was streaming. That's how I was able to do it so much last time. So it's going to move to being streamed instead. But yeah, I'm going to try to lose weight. As I said, I'm 150 kilos. Thankfully, even though I've been very, very lazy for the last month overall, my weight hasn't gone up, which means I'm breaking even on the amount of calories that I'm eating to what my body is burning, which is good. Kind of. It means I'm not overeating overall, which is good, because that's a big problem I have. I know I've always had issues with me and food, and you know, even saying that now, I'm thinking of food that I want to eat. Not in terms of I want burgers and fried stuff, but I'm like, you know, I'm just thinking of food in general. You know, like there's things where it's like, oh, I could go for a nice sandwich right about now, or I could go for a bit of this or a bit of that. And especially when I'm down low, I know I tend to eat a lot. I'm very much a depressive eater, and I have a lot of body image issues that I need to work on. And I know I'll never fully get over them. I've always had them. I will always have them for as long as I can remember, ever since I was a kid. Because I've always been a big eater. Even when I was skinny, I would eat just astronomical amounts of food. But yeah, once I did my back, my weight just went up and up and up, and it's just got worse and worse. And again, I'm still rambling. So much for a short summary. But yeah, videos are still coming, I promise. But things are going to be on a non-strict timeline. There will be... I think I'm still going to try to do maybe one video a fortnight of just gameplay of what I've been playing, set to music like I did for the Rogue Tower video. And stuff like that. Just stuff that I can sort of put on, or a speed run or something like that. I'm going to try to do those, but they're not going to be guaranteed by any means. But they're something that I might try to release once a fortnight at least so something's coming out moving forward. But yeah, anyone who is struggling out there, please look after yourselves. All that good shit. Just be good people, please. Yeah, be kind to one another. Try to spread joy, not misery. And yeah, go check out Pixel Sean. He's my boy. I love that guy. Even though I want to whack him over the head sometimes because he can be a dickhead. But there'll be a link below as well, actually, to his Discord. We've been trying to make that shit happen. By we, I mean he, and I'm pretending like I'm doing anything to help, which I'm not. But he's put a lot of work in, and I think he deserves the reward for the work he's put in. So feel free to come talk. We've got different forums there for different games. If you want forums in there for a specific game that you play, cool. Feel free to ask for it. We'll gladly make it. And come talk some shit, have a good time, I guess. Anyway, that's enough of this. Peace.